Star Wars Episode 9 The Rise of Skywalker. The final installment of the Skywalker saga has finally arrived, and things definitely did not go exactly as foreseen. At least, not for Disney. This movie is turning out to be one of the most divisive Star Wars movies the galaxy has ever seen. Though, when you think about it, almost all of the Star Wars movies have been pretty divisive since the original trilogy. Out of the Disney Star Wars movies, the only one probably more divisive than this one was The Last Jedi. And some of this film's problems were its backtracking on some of the plot points The Last Jedi set up, probably in an attempt to appease the fans who hated it. But I only had a problem with one of them, as it felt like they were regressing one of the characters' development from the last film. I wasn't a fan of everything The Last Jedi did, but it's still the middle movie of the trilogy, and the fact it can pretty much be skipped and not much would be lost from this movie isn't really a good thing. This movie also had the most plot holes out of any of the Star Wars movies, or at least the most noticeable ones. Even with all of its problems, I still actually enjoyed this film. It's very fast-paced with a lot of action and cool moments, though the pace feels a bit too fast, with this film jumping from one scene to the next in rapid succession. The fast-paced nature of the film leads to a lot of things not getting properly explained or fleshed out, but we can assume a lot of these things will be covered in future Star Wars media. That doesn't really excuse the movie though, as it should be able to hold its own as a singular product, and while some small mysteries are okay, as the final film of the Skywalker saga, I shouldn't be walking out of the theater with more questions than answers. I do think this film has a lot of things to enjoy, but it also has a lot of things that can be hated. Compared to the rest of the Star Wars films, I would say this one would be ranked somewhere in the middle. I won't rank them all now, as I'll probably make a video ranking all of the Star Wars films in the future, but for now, I'll give this film a 7 out of 10. When it comes to enjoyability, especially for me as a Star Wars fan, I might even give it an 8. But the lack of explanation for crucial plot points, plot holes, and its slightly anticlimactic ending, I have to dock it a point. I can honestly see why people are ranking it even lower, but I think the most important thing for a movie is how entertaining it is, and I do think it did a pretty good job at closing out the Skywalker saga.